Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. Discussion here is what's the difference between a fixed APR and a variable APR? That's your annual percentage rate. And the example here, we'll say it's a credit card. Most credit cards are going to be a variable APR. In other words, it can fluctuate. Rarely will we see a fixed APR. Think about a mortgage, a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, hence fixed, or an adjustable rate mortgage. That would be a variable APR. The difference between a fixed APR and a variable APR is that a fixed APR does not fluctuate with changes to an index. An index could be the treasury rates. It used to be LIBOR. Now it could be, let's say the prime rate. It could be some variable. In other words, these rates fluctuate on a daily basis, and hence the index could be triggered or could be based off of that particular movement. So if the prime rate goes up, in other words, the Fed comes in and they say, we're going to lower interest rates by 0.25%. The prime rate is usually indexed, or there's a spread between what the Feds do and the prime rate. The Fed lowers rates, the prime rate could drop. But given that the credit card industry is the credit card industry, don't think for a second that they're going to pass that on to you. They rarely do. So my recommendation is A, manage your credit cards, pay them off on a monthly basis. 2, if you can't beat them, join them. So look at whether Visa or a MasterCard as an investment would make sense. Why? Well, because you know they're in the industry of taking you, the consumer, to the cleaners. So join them. In other words, take advantage of that growth. If they're going to be making money, a lot of money, off of the extremely high interest rates that they're charging the consumer, well, that will pass on to you as an investor. This is not investment advice. These are just suggestions. Back to the topic at hand. A fixed rate APR or fixed APR sets an APR that does not fluctuate with changes to an index. This does not mean that the interest rate will never change, but the issuer generally must notify you before the change occurs, and in most circumstances can apply the higher rate only to purchases and other transactions you make after you get the notice. A variable rate APR or variable APR changes with the index interest rate, such as the prime rate published by the Wall Street Journal. The cardholder agreement will show how a card's APR can change over time. The cardholder agreement. Have you ever looked at one of those things? No. Why? Well, because they're about 16 pages long. They're in fine print. It's legalese, and they're a real pleasure to read. They do this on purpose. They confuse you as a consumer. My recommendation, just like your cell phone contract or any other contract, like the bullet. First thing on a Saturday morning, open up your card agreement and read it. And you'll be shocked at how much control these credit card companies have over you. Then the argument here is people want to boast about having 5 or 6 credit cards. Each one will have a different cardholder agreement. And who's going to remember that information? So again, you can boast, but in the end, you could be paying a huge annual fee for boasting about having an American Express Gold card or what have you. Yeah, this is Frugal Finance. That is a waste of money. But from your point of view, you may think different. Comment. Tell me the advantages of walking around with a credit card. It's like a watch. A $40,000 watch tells the same time as a $16 watch. Again, to each his own. I get it. But if you're walking around with a $40,000 watch, I think you're more of a target than somebody with a $16 watch in terms of possibly being mugged. That's just common sense. Yeah, I read about it all the time. You should be able to find a copy of the agreement on your card issuer's website. Request a copy from your card issuers. Well, I guarantee that's not something that's top on our list unless you're an attorney or an accountant. That's the kind of things they like to do. But for the most part, most people are not truly interested in a cardholder agreement. I read them. Why? Because I have to report on them. There's a lot of different ways to find this cardholder agreement, so do whatever search you have to do in order to find that document. Comment. Let me know what you think. Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. Hope that helped. Thanks for watching. See you soon.